Okay, Mark, you there?
I am.
Okay. Well, it's been so nice talking to you so far, and we have a few questions that the Kinkers came up with, along with a couple of fans. And first thing we want to ask you was, how did you hear about the project Water for Elephants, and did you go after it, or did someone suggest it to you?
Well, I heard about it through Standard, through my agent. He had caught wind of it and submitted me for an audition, along with plenty of other people. And as soon as I kind of got familiar with the project and read the book and saw who was attached to it, I was more excited about this project than just about anything I've done. It was pretty intense for me to be going in there with as much to try to be as calm as I could because I wanted it so badly.
It's a pretty meaty role too for you.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, certainly, this is a film that is 2 hours long, and the book is you read in roughly 20 hours. So there's a lot that can't be explored in the film that is in the book, and certainly some of that is the supporting characters. Uh, Nonetheless, this is a huge role. It's an iconic character from the book. People love Kinko, and I fell in love with him immediately. He's so well developed, and to be able to work, all my scenes are with Rob and Reese and Christoph. And how often do you get that kind of star power and talent? It just doesn't come along very often. So I was so excited to just even audition for it, and then when I got it, I was pretty numb. It was an exciting day.
Oh, I absolutely believe that. And, well, not only Rob, Reese, and Christoph, but also Augie the dog. So let's ask you about working with Augie and the dog that portrays Queenie. And we wanted to ask you if you had as good of an experience working with the dog as the other co-stars had working with Ty the elephant.
I fell in love with Augie. I just wish Augie liked me as much as I liked him. It was sort of love. And Augie's a pro, He's been doing this for years, and he's kind of over the whole excitement of being on set. And he's just, smoking his cigarettes by his trailer. No, Augie's just a charming dog, and just like I said, he's so well trained. Omar Mueller, the trainer, really just does such a great job with Augie, and really has an affection for him. So he's very keen to do anything and has a lot of talents. During breaks, Augie would show off riding around on a skateboard, and the whole crew would stop and watch him and take videos of Augie cruising around on a skateboard. In fact, I got a dog after working with Augie just because I had so much fun. And I thought, oh, this is easy taking care of a dog. Look how well this dog's trained. This can't be hard. Well, I linked it.
What kind of dog did you get?
I got a French Bulldog.
Oh, they're so cute. Now, what did you name the dog?
My son named her Daisy.
Daisy?
Yeah, we tossed around Ty and Rosie, but he was charmed by Daisy, so we didn't want to turn an 8-year-old down.
Now, that didn't have anything to do with your pushing up Daisy's appearance, did it?
No, you're right. I didn't even think about that. That's true.
I was so sad when that got canceled. But, well, I wanted to find out, now are you going to stay in touch with Augie, and is he going to be on the red carpet, or do you think that you probably won't bump into him again?
Well, I'll definitely see Augie again. Omar and I are friends, and we've been trading emails about having a play date with the puppy, with Daisy and Augie. And but I don't think he's going to be on the red carpet. I think one is in New York. That's a big trip, and also Augie's busy. He works all the time.
Oh, really?
He's probably too busy to even come out.
Well,
yeah, next to probably works more than anybody else in this entire cast.
That's too funny. I have not seen his resume. Well, we thought it was funny that we even did a post one time. It was one of our funnier moments where when we found out that Augie was a boy, and we posted that Queenie has a weenie. So, not one of our brightest moments for headlines, but we just were pretty shocked that that Augie was turned out to be a boy.
Yeah, I kept messing up calling she a he during filming because I was used to training with Augie and saying good boy, and then I had to, if doing any ad-libbing, switch to good girl, and he'd look at me funny going, what are you doing? I don't get it.
When you were on set, what was the most difficult day for you in filming?
It's funny, most of my memorable moments did involve Augie. The most difficult day is we were filming one of the big, wide parades into the circus tent. Reese is on tie, and there's jugglers and fire breathers, and every animal in Noah's Ark seemed to be there that day. We're shooting out in Fillmore, so it's all, rough terrain, and it's hot, and I'm in this heavy suit and makeup, and I'm pulling Augie along, or actually he's pulling me, and Augie was obsessed with taking out the llamas. He was fine around every other animal, but for some reason he did not he had some kind of abusive relationship with llamas in the past because he didn't like the llamas, and they were directly in front of us in the procession. And it was everything I could do to keep him from jumping on top of it.
Did he actually listen to your commands, or was it more his trainer that was doing the commands and you were just kind of mimicking them?
It was mostly me. We did a lot of rehearsal with me learning how to train or do the correct commands for Augie. Because so many shots, Omar had to be too far away to be able to give the commands, or with the dialogue-heavy scenes, it was, it was hard for him to be in the middle of that. There's some pretty intense scenes inside our boxcar that it was tough for Omar to really, be doing much. So it was a lot on Augie and I developing a relationship and being able to pull that off on screen. And certainly for a wide shot, Omar couldn't be anywhere around it.
Right.
All me trying to control this crazed dog attacking llamas.
Did you have to learn any special stunts for the film? Did you do any stunt work?
It was kind of, it's surprisingly often that I do end up having to do some sort of physical stunt, whether it's comedic or dramatic stunt work for films and TV. And in this one, pleasantly, Kinko doesn't do most of his scenes are very small scenes in confined spaces, inside the boxcar, in the eating in the mess tent, and then certainly the big parade scenes, which was just walking around. We do have a performance that Augie and I, Queenie and Kinko do, and we trained with that. There's a little spoiler alert. There's a little Keystone Cop car. You've probably seen the pictures. They'll be up on the website. Kinko's dressed as a Keystone Cop, and we have a little police car, and Augie's dressed as a convict. So we have a little routine, and we had to train for that a little bit. That was the most stunt heavy it got, because driving around this period piece kit car over rough terrain at 3 o'clock in the morning was a little hairy.
And is that the picture I'm looking at of Augie wearing the jail outfit?
Yes, that is
okay.
his costume, right?
That's really, really cute. We really can't wait to see that. So, well, I think one of the funniest things that I read in Water for Elephants was the scene where Jacob wakes up drunk, or he passed out drunk in the coochie tent, and he wakes up and Kinko, we're assuming, had shaved his private parts and made his face up to look like a clown. And we wanted to find out, is this scene in the movie?
Well, it is in the movie. It's not quite as descriptive and explicit, I think, as it is in the book, but too good of a scene. We definitely have it in there, and it's a nice little turning point for Jacob and Kinko's relationship. So you'll be pleasantly surprised that is most of that scene, as keeping with a PG-13 rating, is in there.
Right. It's just so funny. Sarah Gruen, she has such a way with words, and to see, parts of the book come to life. I think that's what we're all really standing by to see, how that happens. And some of the clips that we've seen, which I've actually stopped looking at them because I don't want to see any more. I want to see it on the big screen. So, but it's just, we're so excited. I mean, it just looks visually stunning. And the moment where Kinko tells Jacob that he can actually call him Walter now was really touching. And we wanted to find out from you, what it was like filming that scene with Robert Pattinson.
It's probably my favorite scene that we shot, just because it is a really delicate scene, and Rob is just such a warm guy in person, and to be kind of acerbic and standoffish and not like him through half the film, it was much more enjoyable to be able to let that down and give in a little bit and like the character along with the actor. So we really had a nice time filming that. The funny part is, again, we're in this boxcar that is Jack made just such a beautiful set, and it's such a tiny car, and you have a camera and the actors in there and a boom microphone, and I mean there must have been 7 people packed in a minivan basically to shoot this. And Queenie is laying down next to me, and it's a very tight shot, and Rob is I think the shot was on Rob, the camera was on Rob, and he's talking to me, and meanwhile Queenie decides that he needs to clean himself in exactly what I was referring to earlier. And I couldn't really stop him from doing it. He needs to do what he needs to do. But Rob's looking at us as Queenie is completely spread eagle, exposing himself, doing what he needs to do. And it was just one of the funnier moments that Rob's trying to hold it together.
That is funny. Well, that's one thing that I can't wait to see with you. And so now that you've been talking about working with Rob and going from having to hate him in the movie to actually starting to like him, can you describe in a few words what it was like working with the other 3 main stars, Reese, Christoph, and Ty?
Reese, I have to be honest, I was a little intimidated to work with Reese just because we all know her work so well, and she's such a star and has been for so long that, and of course, the first shot of the first day was a scene of Rob, Reese, and I. And I was like, really? Can't we do, a wide shot of the circus or something first? So they threw me into the lions right away. And Reese could not have been sweeter and more. The thing that impressed me the most was how, you know her as I know her as a star, but she's ultimately an actress. And to work with her, once the camera started rolling, she was in actor mode, and she gave me so much as an actor. And right away, it set me at ease, and it was about the work and not about, like, you're Reese Witherspoon and who am I? It was, okay, 2 actors working on a scene. And she was so generous about that it made me like her that much more. I have nothing but great things to say about all 3 of them, frankly. Christoph is a dynamically bright, witty, sarcastic, just very smooth gentleman. We spent some time together in Tennessee, and we didn't work that much together actually on camera, but I just had such a great time hanging out with him off camera. He's a wonderful guy, and you get no sense of that darkness that he brings to his characters when you're hanging out with him. It's all that much more amazing that he can pull that off, because it just doesn't exist, so you think, when hanging out with him.
I was going to echo that. I mean, there's the one scene about where I saw a clip where he's talking about dissension amongst the ranks, and I got chills when I saw that, because I just saw, the August and, well, I guess the combination of August and Uncle Al combined in that scene, and I was just like, oh my gosh, it's going to be, like we like it should be, with that character, and so I would have to think that you would be a little intimidated by, that, when you're filming with him in that type of personality mode, and then the way he is in real life. It must just be polar opposite.
It is. It's one of the most extreme instances I've seen of somebody turning it on and off. Because, like I said, he's just so warm in person, and to be able to pull that so consistently and so dynamically, I'm not really sure where he gets it from, but I don't think I want to know either, because he keeps it pretty far buried when you're talking with him.
Mhm. And so, when you guys were in Tennessee, did you go out and enjoy any local foods like Chick-fil-A or the Awful Waffle?
We were right downtown. We weren't there for very long, but it was great because we all got a sense of what Rob has to go through with fandom, and they swarmed our hotel, and we're running up and down the halls, people trying to get close to Rob, and they swarmed the set, which is great. I mean, it's so wonderful to have people be that enthusiastic about him. It's also amazing that he can stay so cool and open and friendly amidst, not being able to go to Chick-fil-A. If he went to Chick-fil-A, we'd never get out of there. So it was quite an experience. LA's one thing, but when you go on location to Tennessee, it was a whole different experience, but it was fascinating to watch.
Right. Well, what about working with Ty? Did you get to work with Ty at all?
I did. I had a couple scenes with Ty, and there's something so, it's almost indescribable about Jim Norton, the actor who plays Camel. We had a scene where Ty has just been beaten, to clear up any rumors. She was never touched on set in any physical.
Oh, yeah, we know.
Right.
Yeah, we went and visited her at her house, at her little elephant house.
It's amazing what, it was well done, how it looks bad, but it's not, the reality is totally different. Anyway, she was laying down in this train car, and Rob, Jim, who plays Camel, and I come rushing in to see her wounds, and running into that boxcar, it took my breath away to be amongst, as dynamic and brave an actor and what a star Rob is. It was a 9,000-pound beast that takes your breath away, that's laying down in this tiny boxcar, just resting and looking at you with those eyes, and the trunk coming out to sniff you to make sure she knows who you are. Mm-hmm. And Jim said that is star quality. When you walk into a room and somebody takes your breath away, that's star quality. And Ty's got star quality.
Oh, yeah, she really does. And her long elephant eyelashes, and the way she can look at you is just I don't know, you just wonder what she's thinking. but yeah, she is amazing, and it was such an honor for us to get to meet her as well, and sounds like everyone just had such a great experience with her.
Well, I got to say, it was I did feel like I was pinching myself almost every day. I mean, not only am I working on this great script and great story, working with these great actors, but then you have all these animals involved in this. How often do you get to have that kind of interaction with an elephant? It felt special on so many levels, and Ty was a big part of that for everyone.
The roles that you play in Water for Elephants and also Boardwalk Empire center around the 1920s and 30s when little people were seemingly more disrespected. How do you think showbiz is now different from that era? And or do you think it's a lot of the same prejudices out there still today?
I think it's a great question. I think I think that it's improving, undoubtedly. I really owe a lot to Sarah for writing such a well-developed, such a dynamically complex character that happened to be a little person. It's rare that you get opportunities as a little person actor, certainly back then and still today, to be able to play such a well-developed character. Oftentimes, it's interesting because, you know, someone would think, oh, playing the fantasy characters, the elves, the leprechauns, the gnomes, et cetera, is stuff you want to avoid being a little person actor. But frustratingly, those are some of the most well-developed human roles out there. Oftentimes, the fantastical characters, they give human qualities to make them more identifiable. And the human characters, the lawyers, the doctors, the businessmen that I play, are basically sight gags. And because, oh, he's a man, but he's a little man, and isn't that crazy? And they don't really get much beyond that.
You think it's improving?
I do think it's improving. Certainly I will look through a script and see at what point my character gets in a fight with an average-sized character or bites his ankles or something that is completely over-the-top, unrealistic. And, you know, again, the fact that What If Elephants had none of that, just none. He is a little person, obviously because there were little people in the circus, but that is not why he is in this book, in this movie, and I was just thrilled to be able to get a chance to play that.
Yeah. I mean, Sarah, she did do such a good job with your character, and I mean, besides the main three cast members, you should be up on the header as well of the movie because you have a lot of scenes in this movie.
Well, I always joked with Francis, the director, that there was going to be the sequel, The Revenge of Kinko. But, we're working on that.
That's awesome. And how did you like working with him?
It was a real pleasure to watch. He and Rodrigo, the DP, the cinematographer, just they know what they're doing. They are so precise with their shots. There was never a question. There was never a doubt that Francis and Rodrigo had this whole thing planned out in their head, and he knew what he wanted it to look like. So as an actor, it's just so comforting to then just be worried about the work you have to do and the relationships to play those, because I just felt so protected by Francis's vision and knowledge.
Funny question here. Several times in the book, Jacob walks in to the room and he finds Kinko with his comic book porn, and he's trying to hide it in inside other books. And we were like, what in the world is comic book porn, and why is Kinko so obsessed with it? And then why is he reading comic book porn, not the real stuff? Or did it just not exist back then?
Well, I think it was much harder to get your hands on, no pun intended, the hardcore stuff. But I think Kinko fancies himself to be a bit of a savant and a bit of a elitist in that respect. And there's some art that goes along with his titillation. He's not just into the crafts. He appreciates. It's not that he appreciates the stories. He appreciates the drawings.
Right.
So he's a bit more refined, or at least likes to separate himself from most of the roustabouts and clowns that populate the circus. He likes to separate himself in any way he can, and I think one of the ways he does that is by his choice in adult entertainment.
Too funny. Well, thanks for being a good sport answering that one, because we were like, oh, he may not want to answer that. But, we wanted to find out what is up next for you, and I had read online that you were going to be working on the Snow White movie. I know there's a couple of them out there, and is there any truth to that?
Yes, there is. This summer, the Julia Roberts Snow White version, she's playing Queen, and I'm real excited about this. Armie Hammer's in it also. Lily Collins. I'm real excited about it because, again, the characters aren't written so much stereotypically of what you'd think of the seven dwarves being. They are much more of a Robin Hood band of thieves that live in the forest that, kind of take from the rich and give it to anybody really but themselves. But they're just much more sort of battle-tested warriors that thieves that hang out in the woods. Than it's sort of the Ocean 7, if you will, of the dwarf. And so I think it's going to be great. It's Harshman Singh. The director is just got such a visual style that's so interesting, and I think he'll get bigger than Julia Roberts. So it's going to be fun.
Well, we had heard that Francis Lawrence was going to direct that. So that's not happening.
Well, there's like 5 Snow Whites coming out. This will be a one. There's also Snow White and the Huntsman, and then there's another one that Francis has something to do with. And I can't remember where, what the angle to that one is and how far along that is in development. But you're right. I think he is attached to some version of something. It might be. It may not even have the in that version. In fact, I don't even. But yeah, there's sort of Snow White coming out.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And the only one I've ever heard of is the one that was from like the 30s. So it'll be interesting to see all these come out at the same time.
Right. Yeah, we come out next summer, and then I think Snow White and the Huntsman is December of 2012. So yeah, get yourself prepared for some.
What else is on tap for you?
Well, I just shot a pilot for it's based on Chelsea Handler's book, Are You There, Vodka? It's Me, Chelsea, for NBC.
Okay.
And a great script, hilarious, just such a departure, something like Water for Elephants to be more opposite, which I love to mix it up a little bit. And I play one of the character Chelsea's buddies that works in the bar that she works in. And we shot that last week, and it went great. And, so hopefully NBC will like it as much as we did, and it will be on in the fall.
And would that be a recurring role for you?
I'm a series regular on that, so it would be every week.
Well, those are all the questions we had, so I just wanted to say thank you again, and it sounds like we're going to get to see you on Saturday night at our Cocktails with Team Rosie little fan gathering at the Hilton.
I'm looking forward to that. I think that's going to be great.
I can't wait to meet you. I'm looking forward to it. And like I said, we are so thankful that you took the time today to answer some of the questions that we had. And we look forward to sharing this with our readers. And just want to thank you again. And, we'll try to keep supplying you with the info on the movie.
Well, I hope you guys like it as much as we liked filming it. It was one of the experiences I've ever had. And I don't think I'm alone in thinking that. Everybody just walked out of there feeling like we had something special. So hopefully it all came together for you guys and you like it as much as we do.
Oh, I think you have no worries there. The buzz surrounding this is phenomenal. I mean, I even saw on Rotten Tomatoes where 83% of their users want to see it, which is pretty, that's pretty huge. So, but thanks again for your time, and look forward to meeting you Saturday. And we'll see you then.
Very good. Thanks a lot, Jennifer.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.